Yeah, this week we're front-loaded with a lot of serialization news. And since this is the year of Jump, I'm also going to be prioritizing the Shonen Jump stuff at the top of the show here. So let's start off strong with something really big. And what is bigger than the king of monsters himself, Godzilla? And you know what's also big? It's getting its first anime film in the franchise that is premiering on Netflix on January 17th. And to coincide with that, a manga adaptation of the movie will launch in the Shonen Jump Plus web magazine and on the website in March, drawn by Yute Kurahashi, whose previous work was called Summer Hero. And the manga story will cover material not in the anime, include original elements, and offer a surprising past for the characters. Very cool stuff. I'm hoping we get this translated when it comes out, maybe simul-published on the Shonen Jump free section, and I'm looking forward to the first anime feature featuring Godzilla. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
I'm just more surprised it took this long for Godzilla to get any kind of anime adaptation. That's kind of weird to think about.
Well, he had an animated adaptation in the 90s, a Western cartoon, which the less is said about, the better.
Yeah.
But this is the first proper anime featuring Godzilla, and that's something to be excited about. But also something to be excited about is Hoshin Engi. The anime is premiering this season, a remake, and it's gonna draw a lot of attention to this very old Shonen Jump series from the late 90s. But what also might draw attention is that Ryu Fujisaki is returning to the series to draw a new short mini-series based on Hoshin Engi, which will debut in spring 2018 in Weekly Young Jump. More information about it will be disclosed at a later date, but for Hoshin Engi fans, it seems that we're going to be getting a little bit of a follow-up, and that is really cool to see.
Yeah, and hey, by the time this podcast comes out, I think the anime will have already premiered, so hopefully it's good, because I'm definitely looking forward to watching it as someone who's never read Hoshin Engi, but has always had kind of an interest in the series for the longest time, so I'm really excited to check it out.
I'm crossing my fingers. I read the first couple of volumes of the manga recently and quite enjoyed them, so I'm hoping that it gets a good treatment in adaptation. I'm a little concerned about 23 volumes being adapted in just 23 episodes, but here's hoping that the pacing will iron out fine.
One volume per episode.
It might be doable, but I will say that there isn't a whole lot of filler in that manga, so I'm not sure what they'll have to cut out or trim down, but it'll be interesting to see for sure.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Hoshin Engi is not the only series that's going to be getting a follow-up this spring, because Hiroyuki Takei will be returning to Shaman King to give it a new arc in Shonen Magazine Edge.
Ooh.
This is a Kodansha magazine, as Kodansha now holds the rights to Shaman King, as Takei is now working with them, and they have also announced that they plan to republish it later this year as well. But in conjunction with that, Takei will be drawing a new arc for Shaman King, and this is not a sequel series. This is a new arc featuring the original characters, and that's something really, really interesting.
What I'm hoping for, personally, is that now that Kodansha has basically the rights to Shaman King and that they're republishing it, that maybe once, because I think at this point, as far as we know, Viz still has the license for Shaman King over here, but eventually they'll probably have to give those up, and maybe we can get a reprint of Shaman King over here with the actual, with the actual ending of Shaman King and not the bullshit ending that I guess it got in its original run in Jump.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully we can get those Kanzenban releases over here in the US and get an official English translation of that ending. But believe it or not, those aren't the only series that are going to be getting sequels and follow-ups, because Muhyo and Roji's Bureau of Supernatural Investigation is getting a sequel this spring too. This is a sequel that's going to be given to a mid-2000s manga that it has been published over here by Viz Media, and this new sequel will run on the Shonen Jump Plus website and app in spring, and hopefully we can get this over here in the US too on the Shonen Jump Free section. I look forward to that.
Yeah, I can't imagine, since Viz has the rights to the series, that we wouldn't get some kind of translation of it from them. I still need to get on the original series, as I've always seen it around. This series is definitely in that category, same category with Hoshin Engi, for me personally, where it's like, I've seen this manga around for years, and I've just never gotten around to it. I'm hoping maybe at some point that'll change, because I remember like years and years ago when I read like just mostly scanned comics online, and I didn't buy a lot of my stuff. I was a middle schooler, can't you blame me? I remember Muhyo and Roji being really interesting to me because, like, I couldn't find any scans of it, and the only way that I would be able to read it would be if I were to buy Viz's editions of it. So it's one of those series that's always eluded me, but now that I'm an adult and I can actually buy things, like, I would like to buy the series at some point and read it, because I've heard interesting things about it. It seems like something I would enjoy personally, so, you know, I wish I could get on the sequel series, but still need to read the original, so...
Mm-hmm. I read the first couple of chapters of the series back when they did a jump back in the digital editions of Weekly Shonen Jump, and I thought it was interesting, so I hope to read more sometime, and I hope that this new sequel gets licensed. But while there's so much to look forward to, with so many series like coming back with new runs, sadly, some manga are being cut short. The first of which we're going to be talking about here is Shudan, that has ended in Shonen Jump at the time of this recording, with its fourth and final volume going to be published on March 2nd. And I'm definitely very sad about this, because I thought this was a series with huge potential, and I really liked Takuma Yokota's storytelling and his artwork, but unfortunately it just did not catch on with readers. And that's disappointing, but here's hoping that Yokota will bounce back and strike another hit with his third work.
Hey, there you go.